Welcome to episode 1 of HTML tutorial. HTML is the standard markup language for web pages. With HTML you can create your own website. HTML is easy to learn, you will enjoy it. That means it is actually not a programming language, it is a markup language, okay? Like React, this is actually not a programming language. It is called library for JavaScript, and Angular is a framework for JavaScript. Django is a framework for Python. So HTML is not exactly a programming language, it is a markup language, because if you make mistakes in writing HTML code, the browser will not show any error. That's why. HTML introduction. HTML is the standard markup language for creating web pages. What is HTML? HTML stands for Hypertext Markup Language. HTML is the standard markup language for creating web pages. HTML describes the structure of a web page. HTML consists of a series of elements. HTML elements tell the browser how to display the content. HTML elements label pieces of content such as this is a heading, this is a paragraph, this is a link, etc. A simple HTML document example: doc type HTML, opening tag, head opening tag, title, page title, title closing tag, head closing tag, body opening tag, H1 my first heading, H1 closed, P my first paragraph, P body closing, HTML closing. Example explained. The body, in less than and greater than sign, question exclamation mark after that, doc type in capital letters, space.html. Declaration defines that this document is an HTML5 document. Okay, the HTML document is the root element of an HTML page. The head element contains meta information about the HTML page. The title element specifies a title for the HTML page, which is shown in the browser's title bar or in the Pages tab. The body element defines the document's body and is a container for all the visible contents such as headings, paragraphs, images, hyperlinks, tables, lists, etc. The H1 element defines a large heading. The P element defines a paragraph. What is an HTML element? An HTML element is defined by a start tag, some content, and an end tag like this. Tag name, content goes here, tag name closed. The HTML element is everything from the start tag to the end tag. H1 my first element, H1 closed, P my first element, P closed. Start tag element content, H1 my first heading, P my first paragraph. BR element content is none. BR actually creates a break, causes a new line, that's all. Note, some HTML elements have no content like the BR element. These elements are called empty elements. Empty elements do not have an end tag, that means they are also known as single tag. Web browsers. The purpose of a web browser like Chrome, Edge, Firefox, Safari is to read HTML documents and display them correctly. A browser does not display the HTML tags but uses them to determine how to display the document. HTML page structure. Below is a visualization of an HTML page structure. So HTML tag, opening tag, head opening tag, title opening tag, page title, title close, head closing tag, body opening tag, H1 this is the heading, H1 closed, P this is the paragraph, P closed, P this is another paragraph, P closed, body closing, HTML closing. Note the content inside the body section. The white area above will be displayed in a browser. The content inside the title element will be shown in the browser's title bar or in the Pages tab. HTML history. Since the early days of the World Wide Web, there have been many versions of HTML. Year version 1989. Tim Berners-Lee invented WWW 1991. Tim Berners-Lee invented HTML. 1993. Dave Reddit drafted HTML+. 1995. HTML Working Group defined HTML 2.0. 1997. WC3 recommendation HTML 3.2. 1999. WC3 recommendation HTML 4.01. 2000. WC3 recommendation XHTML 1.0. 2008. What WG HTML5 first public draft. 2012. What WG HTML5 living standard. 2014. WC3 recommendation HTML5. 2016. WC3 candidate recommendation HTML 5.1. 2017. WC3 recommendation HTML 5.1 second edition. 2017 W3C recommendation HTML 5.2. This tutorial follows the latest HTML5 standard. Okay, let's go to the next chapter. HTML editors. A simple text editor is all you need to learn HTML. Learn HTML using Notepad or TextEdit. Web pages can be created and modified by using professional HTML editors. However, for learning HTML, we recommend a simple text editor like Notepad PC or TextEdit on Mac. We believe in that using a simple text editor is a good way to learn HTML. Follow the steps below to create your first web page with Notepad or TextEdit. Step 1. Open Notepad PC, Windows 8 or later. Open the Start screen. The window symbol at the bottom left on your screen. Type Notepad. Windows 7 or earlier. Open Start Programs Accessories Notepad. Step 1. Open TextEdit Mac. Open Finder Applications TextEdit. Also change some preferences to get the application to save files correctly. In Preferences format, choose plain text. Then under Open and Save, check the box that says display HTML files as HTML code instead of formatted text. Then open a new document to place the code. Step 2. Write some HTML. Write or copy the following HTML code into Notepad. Doc type HTML body, H1 my first heading, P my first paragraph, body close, HTML closed. Step 3. Save the HTML page. Save the file on your computer. Select File, Save As in the Notepad menu. Name the file index.html and set the encoding to UTF-8, which is the preferred encoding for HTML files. Tip: you can use either .html or .html as file extension. There is no difference, it is up to you. Step 4. View the HTML page in your browser. Open the saved HTML file in your favorite browser. Double click the file or right click and choose Open With. The result will look much like this. W3 Schools Online Editor. Try it yourself. With our free online editor, you can edit the HTML code and view the result in your browser. It is the perfect tool when you want to test code first. It also has color coding and the ability to save and share code with others. Example: doc type HTML, head, title, page title, title closed, head closed, body open, H1 this is the heading, P this is the paragraph, body closed, HTML closed. Click on the try it yourself button to see how it works. Okay. Now let's go to the next chapter. HTML basic examples. In this chapter we will show some basic HTML examples. Don't worry if we use tags you have not learned about yet. HTML documents. All HTML documents must start with a document type declaration, doc type HTML. The HTML document itself begins with HTML and ends with HTML. The visible part of the HTML document is between body and body open and close tag. Example: doc type HTML body, H1 my first heading, P my first paragraph, body closed, HTML closed. The doc type declaration. The doc type declaration represents the document type and helps browser to display web pages correctly. It must only appear once at the top of the page before any HTML tags. The doc type declaration is not case sensitive. The doc type declaration is for HTML5 is doc type space HTML. HTML headings. HTML headings are defined with the H1 to H6 tags. H1 defines the most important heading. H6 defines the least important heading. Example: H1, H2, H3. This is the heading. This is heading 1, 2, 3. Okay. HTML paragraphs. HTML paragraphs are defined with the P tag. Example: this is a paragraph, this is another paragraph. HTML links. HTML links are defined with the A tag. Example: less than A space href equals to a location, greater than, this is a link, then closing A. Okay, fine. The link's destination is specified in the href attribute. Attributes are used to provide additional information about HTML elements. You will learn more about attributes in a later chapter. HTML images. HTML images are defined with the less than img greater than tag, image tag. The source file src, alternative text, alt, width and height are provided as attributes. Source src, alt, width and height. Less than img space source equals to the location of the image space alt equals to the text that is to be shown if the image somehow fails to load. Width equals to whatever the value, it will be in double quotation, and the same thing is for height. How to view HTML source? Have you ever seen a web page and wondered, hey, how did they do that? View HTML source code. Right click in any HTML page and select view page source in Chrome or view source in Edge or similar in other browsers. This will open a window containing the HTML source code of the page. Inspect an HTML element. Right click on an element or a blank area and choose inspect or inspect element to see what elements are made up of. You will see both the HTML and the CSS. You can also edit the HTML or CSS on the fly in the elements or styles panel that opens. Okay, let's go to the next chapter. HTML elements. An HTML element is defined by a start tag, some text, and an end tag. HTML elements. The HTML element is everything from the start tag to the end tag. Tag name, content goes here, closing tag name. Example of some HTML elements. H1 my first heading, P my first paragraph. Start tag, element content. H1 my first heading, P my first paragraph, BR none. Note, some HTML elements have no content like the BR element. These elements are called empty elements. Empty elements do not have an end tag. Nested HTML elements. HTML elements can be nested. This means that elements can contain other elements. All HTML documents consist of nested HTML elements. The following example contains 4 HTML elements: HTML body, H1 and P. Example explained. The HTML element is the root element and it defines the whole HTML document. It has a start tag, HTML, and then end tag. Then inside the HTML element there is a body element. The body element defines the document's body. It has a start tag and an end tag. Then inside the body element there are 2 other elements, H1 and P. The H1 element defines a heading. It has a start tag H1 and an end tag. H1 my first heading. The P element defines a paragraph. It has a start tag and an end tag. P my first paragraph, P. Never skip the end tag. Some HTML elements will display correctly even if you forget the end tag. Example like this. See, the P tag doesn't have an end tag or closing tag. However, never rely on this. Unexpected results and errors may occur if you forget the end tag. Empty HTML elements with no content are called empty elements. The BR tag defines a line break, and it is an empty element without a closing tag. Example, this is a paragraph with a line break. HTML is not case sensitive. HTML tags are not case sensitive. P means the same as small p. The HTML standard does not require lowercase tags, but WC3 recommends lowercase in HTML and demands lowercase for stricter document types like XHTML. At W3 schools, we always use lowercase tag names. HTML tag reference. W3 schools tag reference contains additional information about these tags and their attributes. Tag description. HTML defines the root of an HTML document. Body defines the document's body. H1 to H6 defines HTML headings. For a complete list of all available HTML tags, visit our HTML tag reference. Okay, I guess that's it. So this was the episode 1 of HTML tutorial series. We will meet again in the second episode, and until then, have a great day.